Basement of La Penta. This is WICR.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sports Vault. I'm your host with the most, Jersey Joe, and we are rolling along, and I really wanted to get to a segment that I was thinking about, and it's all about the Atlanta Hawks here, and it's kind of interesting because I've kind of sat down and thought about it, and my impressions of the Hawks are they're the Arizona Cardinals of the NBA. They really are. The Arizona Cardinals in the NFL are phenomenal, extremely well head coached under Bruce Arians. He's done such a good job there. And the main thing that really has always impressed us about them is what their situation is at quarterback. We all understand that in the NFL, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't win anything. And it's very impressive for them because to have as good a record as they had, I mean, they won 11 games this year. Last year, they were 10-6. They were outstanding. And what do they have at quarterback? Carson Palmer, Drew Stanton, at some point Ryan Lindley, whatever he is. And it's been unbelievable to do what they've done with the quarterbacks that they've had. Now, it all just kind of really went downhill in the playoffs, but that's expected. I mean, when Ryan Lindley is your starting quarterback in the playoffs, you're not winning anything, and you just could see it. But it's just amazing what they've been able to do with the given quarterbacks from that team. Defensively, they are outstanding, but to win the game, as many games as they do, and as tough a division as they do with Carson Palmer and Drew Stanton, it should just really blow our minds, and it does. And the Hawks, I kind of feel like, are the same way. We look at them, they play really, really good defense. They're a very good team at moving the basketball. They're really well coached under Mike Budenhauser. But I think at the end of the day, we kind of look at them the same way we do the Arizona Cardinals. A very good team, but they're not winning anything. And it's the same story with the Cardinals because in the NBA, it's all about having superstars. In the NFL, it's all about having a franchise quarterback. If you don't have superstars in the NBA, if you don't have a quarterback in the NFL, you can't win it all. You just can't. It is too difficult. In the NBA playoffs, you're going to face so many names. Now, the Eastern Conference is a little bit different, I'll give you, because now we're seeing with Derrick Rose being out for the year, it takes a lot out of it. Even a team like Toronto is a lot like Atlanta, where they don't have a definitive they have great players. Kyle Lowry is fantastic. DeRozan is good. They have Jonas Valanciunas, who's a very good physical presence. But again, good players. In the NBA, to win it all, you've really got to have two A-plus A players, and you've got to have at least a B-plus getting up in that B range type of player. It's just the way it works in the NBA. Moving the ball is a part of it. You've got to move the ball well. You've got to play extremely good defense. We've seen in the last 4 NBA championships, the teams that have moved the ball the best and played the best defense have won. But the thing those teams have always had that have made it and put them over the top has been superstars. Even the San Antonio Spurs, I don't want anybody to give me that their stars are past their prime. Tim Duncan has the perfect role there. Tony Parker is terrific. Manu Ginobili lives for the big moments, and they just have so many guys who just know their roles and fill them well. I like Atlanta, but we all understand when they play the Cavaliers next Friday, it's going to be a great test because all the talk now is people either love the Hawks and they just think they don't get enough respect, and I may think maybe they don't. It's hard to argue with the record, but at the end of the day, that game on Friday is going to tell us what we need to know. And I just think you're going to really see in that game why, even with their records aside, Cleveland is the team that is going to come out of the East. You just look at the star power on the roster. You look at the athleticism and what they can do. It's not just, and I think this is one of the things where Cleveland has the edge too, is Cleveland has the ability to adjust when things go wrong. If they get into an extremely tough situation and they've got to abandon one thing, I think they're so versatile in all phases, they have the ability to do that. And I just don't know if Atlanta can do that at this point. Now, they have a lot of good positives. They can adapt to a lot of styles, but I think they've shown you this is the way they want to play. And so far, no one's been able to deny them that. But the one thing, though, about Atlanta is against the Western Conference, they do have the best record against the Western Conference, and that means something. It does, because the West is at a different level. But I just think in a 7-game series, just think about it. Do you really think they are going to win a 7-game series against the Cleveland Cavaliers, against LeBron James making his shots, driving to the rim, being the distributor, setting the tone defensively, and Kyrie Irving, who we're seeing now, is playing the best basketball of his career and is being such a force in all phases of the game? I just don't know. Again, I look at them, they're the Arizona Cardinals of the NBA. Extremely well coached, very good team. They are legitimate, but there's just a point where that most important piece you are missing. The Cardinals with quarterback, the Hawks with the superstar department. Now, maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe I will. I wouldn't be surprised because the NBA is much different from the NFL, but I just think this is what we see. This is what wins championships in this league is superstars, and I love Atlanta. They're fun to watch. I enjoy watching teams who move the ball well, who play defense well, but I just can't reiterate it enough. It is all about superstars in this league. The Cavs have them. I mean, let's look at the top 8 teams right now in the East. Atlanta, Toronto, Cleveland, Chicago, Washington, Milwaukee, Miami, and Brooklyn. Now, Brooklyn in that 8th spot. Brooklyn, Miami, and Milwaukee are kind of throwaways. They've shown their signs here and there, but at the end of the day, they're really not going to put the fear in anybody. You look at Washington, they started off the year phenomenal. They've really been struggling as of late, lost their last 5. Chicago without Derrick Rose, they'll play well. They're still a good team, but they just lose that it factor. Toronto, I said before, very good team. They play defense. They move the ball, but Kyle Lowry is very good. They don't have that it factor, and it's the same thing with Atlanta. I just think you look at the way things are going. You look at the way Cleveland is playing. I think it's easy. I really do. Who's beating them? I just think unless they get to the playoffs and you really see the inexperience from a lot of these guys who've never been there before shows up, I just don't think there's any other way that they don't get to the finals. I really don't. The way they're playing right now is just too much to handle. But we will talk about that matchup next Friday when we get to it. But I think right now you're going to see that game will show you a lot. Both teams are going to have a lot to prove there because Cleveland is slowly creeping up. They're at 37-22, right knocking on the Raptors' doorstep. Atlanta is going to be up for this game because they want to prove people like me wrong. They want to prove people like me wrong that they are not what I say they are, that star power is something they have, that they can beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we will see. It will be a lot of fun, but that is my thoughts. The Atlanta Hawks are the Arizona Cardinals of the NBA. That is going to do it for this segment. Stay with me, and we will be right back with Derrick Rose, Rajon Rondo, and everything else in the universe. We will be right back.